And we're live. Hello, everyone. I'm Sharon and welcome to Lunch and Life. Robin is here. She will be with us shortly. So I'm going to get us started. This week is Valentine's Day on Sunday. So what Robin and I thought that we would do is share a little love and heart health, because it's also February is Heart Health Month, and just kind of do a little cooking that will give you some joy and some fun for Valentine's Day. Well, look at this. Robin made it. Hi, Robin.
Hi, I made it. Had to come all the ways. I hope it's out of the kitchen. I'm so sorry.
I hope it wasn't a long commute for you.
It wasn't too bad. Traffic was horrible in my kitchen, but I'm here, everyone. Sorry to be late.
I heard a little, honking back there, so I was kind of wondering.
Yeah, it was the dog and I. We were having a little scuffle over here, so. Well, thanks for your patience, Sharon.
I'm glad that you made it in one piece. So I'm really excited about this week because, you and I were talking about Valentine's Day and Heart Health Month and just about the different foods that we can eat. And you'd love to cook more than I do, for sure. So you
found these recipes. You found some awesome ideas for Valentine's Day. So.
Well, I'm very excited about this. So, let's just jump right into it. And we're going to talk about different, foods and the benefits just in terms of getting you in the mood and the importance of how it helps your heart so that you might be able to be creative and create your own indoor date for Valentine's Day on Sunday. So I just have my notes here because I want to make sure I don't leave anything out, because what we're going to make today is pistachio crusted salmon, and we're going to have some asparagus with that. And then for dessert, we're going to make some chocolate covered strawberries and some wine for those of you who are interested in just having a little glass of some red wine along with that.
And I love all that.
Absolutely. So, Robin, you and I did things, we adapted these recipes, which of course we'll include in the description. And I'm just curious because we didn't get a chance to talk about the pistachio crusted salmon. Do you want to share if you did anything differently with the ingredients? Actually, should we go through the ingredients first that we use?
Sure. Do you have them up? Because I actually would have to change screens. But I found this recipe. This is a great recipe. By the way, whoever is first of all, salmon's such an easy fish to work with. So don't get in your head like, oh my gosh, this is such a hard dish to make. This would be a great recipe, even if you were having company over. Well, we're not having company these days. When you have company over, it's a great recipe. Super, super simple. So I used fresh lemon instead of lemon juice. And I left out, so the recipe calls for a clove of garlic, some lemon juice, Dijon mustard, chopped pistachios, and I think honey is there as well. And I did leave off the honey, and salt and pepper to taste.
Did you add maple syrup to yours?
I did not, but after I mixed the lemon and the mustard and the garlic and with salt and pepper, and then started the pistachios. I think it's like add half in and mix and then the rest. The flavor was so good and fresh that I was like, who needs honey? So I really like lemon. I love lemon. So that little extra tang of lemon to me, I figured I didn't want to cut that tang out with sweetness. So
Right.
I'll let you know. Mine is still cooking, so I'll let you know what it really tastes like.
So interestingly, I did the one with the mustard and just a little bit. It called for maple syrup. I used a little bit of honey because we're not vegan. And actually, my son can't have maple syrup, but he can have honey.
Interesting.
Yeah, for his Crohn's, honey's actually better for him than maple syrup. So for all of you who are watching, it's so easy to adapt these recipes and not feel like, oh, I can't have or I can't make a recipe because I can't use all of the ingredients. Even if you're not a cook like me, I'm really not, but I'll still experiment because that's where you can find the joy and the creativity of, let's see what happens. What's the worst case?
First of all, you're a great cook, so scratch that. But second of all, if you're just playing around, take a little bit, start with cutting doing the recipe, this wasn't a lot of ingredients, first of all, and a lot of quantity, but do it in a separate bowl and taste test.
Yes.
Right. So if you're not sure of ingredients on what to add, if you're going to switch out honey or maple syrup or something like that. But I didn't know that about honey and prunes.
Yeah. It's so much that I learned over the years with my son for sure, and just anybody who has some sort of a digestive or autoimmune condition. There's always a way to adapt a recipe, and I think that's part of the frustration for so many people is thinking, I don't know what to eat. There's nothing I can eat, and it's just about thinking outside the box and being creative about it. So just to go back to you saying how you take a small piece, do a little bit at a time. I actually did that with chocolate covered strawberries. When we get to that, I had like 3 different bowls because I used 3 different chocolates to experiment. But just getting back to this, so did you use a food processor for yours to grind the pistachios?
Nope, I did the cutting board and good old.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Well, you're a lot braver than I am because I probably would have lost a finger if I had tried doing that.
That's why I cut myself a lot, but I didn't. I'm all good. No cuts.
Oh, and then if I would do it, I feel like it would just fly all over the place. So
kind of cover a little bit and then go, which is why sometimes I cut myself. But
Well, I used a NutriBullet, and the NutriBullet comes with like a little milling, 2 different attachments. And so with mine, I was able to do it where some pieces are coarse,
nice,
or more fine. And then in a separate bowl, I took the Dijon mustard and I took the honey and I made a little I combined that. And then it's really great whenever you use a sauce to have a basting brush, because then you can paint it. Right? So,
yeah, definitely. Now, did you add the pistachios at all into your sauce or not yet?
So not yet, because what I did was I took the Dijon and I brushed, literally just like art, right? I just brushed my salmon with the Dijon dressing and covered it.
Excuse me.
God bless you. I covered it, and then what I did was, and it's the hardest.
Sorry. God.
What I did, actually, I could just do it right now, so you'll have to bear with me because it's all a little messy. So, obviously you want clean hands. I took the salmon and I turned it over into the pistachio crust, and it sticks to it, right?
Nice.
And I got the sides didn't want to turn it over. I just wanted it on the top. And then I put it on the pan. I put it in the pan, which I like to line with unbleached, parchment paper so that it doesn't stick. It's just easier for cleanup.
Yeah.
And then I did at 350 for 20 minutes. So you'll probably want to experiment with what your oven is. You have to know your oven time. How long did you bake yours for?
So I have a couple minutes left. So for some reason, I'm at 375, and I said 18 minutes. Maybe I didn't read the instructions that carefully. I don't know. So I have 2 minutes left, actually. So what I did was I actually did the same thing. I put all the wet into a bowl, and I actually added about half of the pistachios in, brushed that on, and then I took what was left of the dry pistachios, and kind of sprinkled it on and then patted it down with the back of a spoon.
And it's the same thing, right? So there's no right or wrong.
Right.
Just however you want to do it.
Right.
And then it in the oven, and I'll show you my completed one after, because I just want to talk a little bit about the health benefits of wild salmon is definitely what I recommend, because so much of the salmon that we buy is farmed, and when it's farmed, just the whole practice of them in these pools, and they use grains, and it's like it's not a healthy way and in a healthy environment for the salmon to proliferate and to be healthy, to have a healthy food. So I go for wild salmon, and which is high in omega-3s, and all these foods that we're going to be sharing today, they increase blood flow, right? They're high in antioxidants, and what's important about increased blood flow is for your heart, right? It just helps to reduce cholesterol. It helps, it's good for heart health, but also increased blood flow increases it to all your organs, including, the organs that, might be a little turn you on for the Valentine's mood, be in the mood for love kind of thing. So it's really important to use wild salmon. And pistachios are also high in antioxidants. People don't realize how healthy salmons are. We think almonds, right? When we think, to eat some sort of a nut.
Right.
But pistachios are also, they're very high in minerals and potassium and magnesium. They have a lot of fiber. So they are great. And you can eat like 40 or 50 a day, pistachios a day, and not worry that you're having too much. And it's great for heart health as well. And they're a great snack. And protein, especially for vegans, they offer a nice amount of protein.
So let me ask you, did you use raw pistachios or like a dry roast?
That's a great question. And I just had my bag out here, but I think I put it back into...
Because I used a dry roast unsalted, already shelled. So I was curious what you...
Already shelled. I got lightly salted, and so it's just the pistachios. It doesn't... You could use either or.
Okay.
That you can use just to for flavor, to taste.
Okay.
Okay. Moving on then.
I'll be right back.
So next we're going to just talk quickly about asparagus. A lot of people think, asparagus makes my urine smell. Yeah, it kind of does, but that's okay. Asparagus is very healthy. And when you buy it, people sometimes wonder, like, how do I actually... different ways to do it. And Robin, you and I have talked about this with asparagus, that you like to eat all of it and you just cut off the very end, right?
Yep.
So I do it a little differently, because the ends of it, depending on your individual disposition, if you have digestive issues, the end is very fibrous. So for people who have constipation issues, digestive issues, and think asparagus bothers me, it could be the end of it that's too much fiber for your body. And if you're not drinking enough water to help move that fiber through, you'll get pain in your stomach. You'll get some gas and abdominal discomfort. So what you could do is you find the flex point and you just snap the asparagus, and then you can discard the ends, or if you want, chop it up and cook it a little bit longer than you would the rest of the stalk, so that you can make it easier for your body to digest it. And I love asparagus. I eat it raw.
I love asparagus. Yeah, I could eat it raw. I love asparagus. I've air fried asparagus. I have roasted asparagus. I don't boil them really, and I don't saute them, but I'll either roast or air frying is great. I'm telling you.
Tell me what you do when you air fry them.
I actually just a tiny drizzle of olive oil, like tiny, like and salt and pepper. And I set the air fryer at 400 degrees for, if you fill the basket, like a single layer, fill the basket, 400 degrees for 10 minutes.
And does it come out crunchy or like?
Yeah, so the outside is kind of crispy and the inside is so moist. You'd be surprised like how moist the inside is.
That's a great idea. So I do it differently. I either eat it raw. So like, Bugs Bunny, what's up? But generally I'll chop it up, and then I'll also drizzle a little olive oil, a little bit of salt. Do you find that when you do your vegetables, like when we talked about roasting vegetables a couple of weeks ago when we did our harvest bowl, I don't always put a lot of spices on my vegetables sometimes.
I really don't. I kind of salt and pepper before roasting, but that's really it. There's something about the natural
flavors
that come out. So
I agree. And so that's another thing, you don't have to go crazy. It can be so simple, so that when you're done with your asparagus and your salmon crust, pistachio crusted salmon,
nice
meal. Now, ordinarily I might have some rice with that. Oh, look at you.
So here's my salmon minus my asparagus.
It looks fantastic. And the beauty is that it's so healthy. You can eat salmon 2 to 3 times a week, knowing that you're getting your omegas. Having the asparagus, you might want to add maybe some brown rice to it or even a sweet potato. The thing with salmon is that, especially pistachio crusted, and Robin, you probably would know better than me in terms of flavors. It's almost like you don't want to overpower the salmon with other too flavorful sides to it.
You really don't. You really want the freshness and the goodness of the salmon to come out. So, and that's the beauty of this recipe, because I actually tasted the mix of the lemon and the mustard and salt, pepper with the pistachios.
I think I'm going to take a taste of this right now because I haven't tried this yet. I was like waiting to see how this comes out.
If you insist. If you insist. I got to take a.
Oh my God, it's delicious.
Wow.
Wow. I have to say, this is the first time that I made a pistachio crusted salmon.
Oh, good.
And it's delicious and it's so easy to make. So it's great. This is great for the heart health. It's a nice romantic Valentine
Really delicious.
And have a little glass of wine, because for those who love some red wine, here's just what I want to share about drinking wine. Yes, it's heart healthy to a degree, right? It has resveratrol, antioxidant, so it promotes heart health. Maybe, glass a couple times a week. However, the type of wine is so important. And the way that wines are made, it's kind of like olive oil. They're just using so many different types of grapes that come from different places, and they spray pesticides on it, and they add other preservatives to it. So a lot of times people can't drink red wine because of these reasons. So I'm like that. Mm-hmm. But what I found were wines, organic wines, and also I happened, and I'm not getting paid for this. I just happen to love Benziger. Mm-hmm. They're in California. I went there a few years ago with my kids, my adult kids of drinking age. And it's a biodynamic farm, which I learned so much about how the land is, kept up, and how they use animals and the natural resources to grow their I can't talk today, their grapes. And it's delicious. And it's one of the few wines that I can drink, and it doesn't give me a headache. I don't have any effects from it. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean I'm going to drink a whole bottle.
Right.
But, we think sometimes that we'll discount the whole family of wine, but it's really a matter of finding a better quality, just like it with food.
Right. I found that, when I was in Italy, because I typically end up with a headache immediately.
Yeah.
From especially red wines. And of course, that was solved when I got to Italy, because they don't use a lot of the anything actually, and they're certified by the government in their regions. So I never had a headache. I was able to indulge. But it made me really think, coming back into the States and being very cautious in reading labels and looking for the bio-organic, that whole thing. Because it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, or just buying the wines that are imported from those countries that follow those strict rules. I feel
just going to Italy and going in.
Yeah, well, next time, right, when we can travel again. Yeah. So did you bring home like a suitcase full of wine when you went to Italy?
No, I was pretty good. I didn't bring home an extravagant amount. I just got a couple, I brought more olive oil back than wine.
Oh my God, I did also. But yeah, I think that, we're going to have to just make sure that we do a live when we're in Italy.
I think it's definitely necessary. Yeah.
Or you can join us when we do a retreat in Italy.
There you go. We'll be like, Bobby Flay and Giada are now doing something in Italy. So we can do something like that, a cooking show in Italy.
Hey, Bobby Flay, Giada, watch out.
We're coming for you.
Yeah, we're coming for the throwdown. Or at least Robin's going to do the throwdown, because she's got the.
Oh, yes, you are. You're with me.
I'll be your sous chef. Okay.
There we go.
All right. So last that's on the menu, dark chocolate covered strawberries. Chocolate, healthy, not healthy. You buy your regular store-bought Hershey's, not healthy, because if you look at those ingredients, the first ingredients are not cacao beans. And yet, chocolate, dark chocolate, really good chocolate is very healthy, high in antioxidants, fiber, protein, magnesium, potassium. And yes, it has some sugars because they do add, but the higher the percentage of cacao, the less sugar. So interesting.
Works very well with red wine. Just
it does. So interestingly, Robin and I chose different types of chocolates, and I actually would love for you to share what you chose and then what you added and why.
Yeah, so I chose, it says 72%, 72%. It's a dark chocolate chip. It's actually from Trader Joe's. And so I am one of those that I find dark chocolate bitter. So I actually added in my, well, you can't see the double boiler, but I did like a double boiler. I added a small can of coconut cream to it as it mixed. And so it gave this creaminess. And for me, I taste the bitterness. So it took out that bitter taste for me.
Mm.
We're talking about that because you don't taste that. Like you like a higher percentage. Because I am one of those that was brought up probably on, milk chocolate from Hershey's.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And this is what's interesting also for everybody, right? It's, yes, we're starting with 70%. I like 85%, but also brands are different. And the thing is, like, if you're a milk chocolate person, start with milk chocolate if you really can't do a higher, but work it in, right? Because this is about what can I add in so that I can be healthier, so that and also what does that even mean to me being healthy?
And it's a good point, though. It also is, there's healthier brands, right? So find that healthier alternative without, again, sacrificing.
Right, absolutely. Because I didn't just enjoy 70 or 85% right away. It was bitter to me too, but for me and the way that I changed my palate, again, everyone's different, was that I just slowly upgraded. So it was like 55, 60, and it took time, and I just would play around with it or sometimes mix a bunch together. But what's interesting that I want to share in terms of the types, because what I did was I used 3 different brands. I used Divine, which has cocoa butter, sugar, cocoa powder, sunflower lecithin, which is an emulsifier, and vanilla. And then I also used Theo. I tried, this is a fair trade organic, and Theo has cocoa beans, cane sugar, cocoa butter, and vanilla. So fewer ingredients. But when I made this, it tastes okay. I love the 85%. This I actually enjoy the lower, so that's interesting too, because every brand is different. Every brand is different. But this, what happened was when I tried to do this, and I used a pot with water, and then what I did was I just put a bowl inside of it and did it that way. So I boiled the water and then added the bowl. So you did a double boiler.
Well, I did a double boiler. Gosh, you think by now I'd get which direction to go, left or right, but I did a double boiler, and it's been off heat, so mine's a little like clumpy right now. But I will say, adding the coconut cream, it was very silky.
Yeah,
and that's what you want. You just want a low heat to go slowly, that it's not going to burn. And whether you do it this way or Sharon's way, that's what you're preventing, the burning.
Exactly. And I'm glad that you brought that up, because there's so many different ways to do it. Doesn't mean you have to go out and buy a double boiler. But interestingly, when I did the Theo, like, it just stuck. It didn't, it's
interesting.
It's total paste. And at first I thought, what this, I just really couldn't understand. I still don't understand it. But the other brand that I really like, and I think you've probably heard of this company also,
yeah, I love Hue. I love their bars and everything.
Love. So their ingredients, cacao, organic, everything, sugar, and cocoa butter. So here's the thing too, and you might want to check on the back of your package. When you look at foods, this is a little hint for when you're looking at any type of a snack, to just a general sense. If your fiber plus your protein is greater than your sugar, it's going to be a healthier chocolate or a healthier snack. That doesn't mean go and run out and that's your only gauge, because obviously you want to look at the ingredients. But like this one, the Who, so interestingly, it has 3 grams of dietary fiber and 2 grams of protein, which equals 5. However, it has 9 grams of sugar. So there's actually more sugar, right? Then, because the reason that I say look at the fiber and protein, because that helps to slow down the release of insulin in the body to balance the sugar, right?
That's interesting. This has 2 grams of dietary fiber, 1 gram of protein, but 4 grams of sugar.
Right. So, and that's okay because it's 70%, as is this one. The it's also 70%. Whereas, like the Divine chocolate has 4 grams of fiber, 2 grams of protein, so that's 6, and 4 grams of sugar. And that's because it's 85%. So this is just information for everybody to just pay attention.
Yeah.
Right? Like, how do I learn to read these ingredients and then just try things, just taste. So you'll have to excuse me because I'm going off screen for a second.
I'm just going to show you I just pulled a few of these before they go flying on my computer.
Yeah.
There's chocolate covered strawberries. I was going to try and drizzle either white chocolate over it or like a lighter dark chocolate, if that makes sense. But time of the essence didn't happen. So there's my chocolate covered strawberries. But look at the size of these things.
They're huge. I know. Mine also. It's like so surprised and just so pleasantly surprised how they chilled so nicely.
Yeah.
And I too. So if you want to drizzle the white chocolate, you would do the same thing. Put it into a bowl, right, over the hot water or double water, and then take a fork and kind of dip it into the white so that you can drizzle it over, which is kind of cool, right? So you can get creative that way. I didn't buy the white chocolate.
Yeah, me neither.
But so you can have a nice, enjoyable, beautiful, romantic Valentine's Day dinner that's healthy for your comfort and for your sex life. Because let's face it, it is Valentine's Day after all.
It is.
Any other thoughts that you want to share, Robin?
No, it's just there's always alternatives, right? And it tastes good and it's satisfying, and so it's kind of feed your soul as well, right? Feed your body, feed your soul. And frankly, if you don't have a partner, like make a delicious meal for yourself. Get the ingredients. This is such an easy meal. Honestly, we could even post it. We can put the recipes in the comments.
Yep.
When we're done, but make this for yourself. It's really like a fabulous meal.
Totally agree. And as always, I love unpacking lunch with you.
I love unpacking lunch with you, Sharon.
A nice pre-Valentine's Day. So we're going to enjoy separately our Valentine's Day dinner and our chocolate-covered strawberries. So until next week. Thanks for joining us, everyone, and happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.